Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here. I'm hungry. I haven't had breakfast this morning. So I decided I was going to fix breakfast in a muffin. So come along with me and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. First of all, we got a pound of sausage. It doesn't matter what kind of sausage you have. Just a pound of sausage. You can have hot, mild, whatever. That's up to you. I'm gonna get my pan heated up here. Get my sausage out in my pan. If I can get this cut open. And this makes, I don't know, about 18 muffins. So if you're one of these people that like to fix breakfasts and maybe freeze them ahead of time, this is a great thing to do with this because they freeze great. And then you can just pop them in the microwave to heat them up. I don't know why I'm doing this. I got to break up this sausage. And I found the best way to do it is just take it and mush it up with your hands. It's kind of messy, but hey. I'd rather do it this way than to try to chop it up in the pan. I mean, I still will chop it up some, but it's a lot easier to just do it this way. Pinch it off and kind of break it up with your fingers. Yeah, I've cooked for a long time, so I don't mind getting my fingers in my food. And we'll, like I said, we'll break it up more as it's cooking because I don't want great big chunks in there. But for everybody that likes to fix their breakfasts ahead of time, have them prepared already. Maybe you go to work and you don't want to spend the time in the morning to fix breakfast. Or maybe you don't even have time to eat breakfast at home. This is a great thing to make to just grab, put it in your lunchbox, take it to work, heat it up in the microwave at work with a cup of coffee and have breakfast. I've got my oven preheated until 400. Turn my burner up just a tiny bit. And it'll take a little bit to cook this, but I want you to see how I'm doing it. especially for you young people that have never cooked before. And maybe you watch some of my videos to basically learn how to cook and fix different things that you might like. See, it's so much easier to kind of chop it up now since I broke it apart with my fingers. So much easier when you do that rather than try to chop a pound of sausage up in the pan. And you probably figure, well, you lost me already. You're talking about breakfast muffins, and here you are frying a pound of sausage. Well, just hang with me, and you'll see what I'm going to do. Your oven's starting to heat up. Because you want your oven heated before you put your muffins in. See how crumbly the sausage is getting? And how much easier that was to break it up with my fingers to put it in the pan to brown it. I'm all for making my life easy. Or easier. Now, while that is cooking, we're going to get over here and work on our muffin mix, our batter. First of all, we're going to need 2 cups of flour, and I'm using self-rising flour. You can use all-purpose flour. Just don't forget to add your baking powder and your salt. But I'm going to add, and I'm going to break these in a container. I'm going to add 2 eggs to my batter. I like breaking my eggs in a separate container, especially if you have what I call homegrown eggs. Because sometimes you might get hold of a bad one. Not usually. But I like to do that just to check my eggs. And also, make sure I don't get any eggshells in there. Oh, let me see. So, I'm going to add my 2 beaten eggs to my batter mix. I'm going to put 2/3 cup cheese. You can use cheddar cheese or whatever you want. I'm going to put 1/3 cup of just plain white sugar. I'm going to put 1/2 cup of milk. I'm also going to put 1/2 cup of cooking oil. I need to get me a big spoon. There we go. And I'm just going to mix that up. Now, if it gets too thick, you can always add a little bit of water or a little bit more milk. But you don't want your batter runny. And I think the ingredients that I put in there is going to be just right. But mix that all up. Yeah, I may need to add just a little bit more milk, or a little bit of water will do. Because I don't want it too thick. I don't want it too runny. I'm not making pancakes. So I don't want it runny, but I don't want it so thick I can't mix my my sausage and egg in it. Oh goodness, you know me. I get around cooking and smelling the vapors of this food, and I start sneezing. I think I've added here about 1/3 cup of water, because this batter was just way too dry. I'm going to set that aside right there. Get over here and tend to my sausage. And this makes about 18 to 20 muffins. Now you can use the paper liners in your muffin pans. I used to do that years ago when I was taking cupcakes and stuff to different places, like to schools. But I got out of doing that because I found that it works just as well not to have the paper liner in there. Plus you don't go to the expense of buying the liners. There, I can chop that up a little more. Because you want small pieces in your muffins. You don't want great big hunks. I mean, if you got a few hunks, it's not going to destroy the muffin, but I'd rather have the smaller pieces. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of salt to my sausage, not much. And you don't even have to do that if you don't want. Totally up to you. And our sausage is just about ready. Now I'm just simply going to put the sausage out on a plate, on a couple of paper towels, so I can drain the grease out. I don't want all the grease left in it. Ooh, if I can get it up here on this plate without pouring it everywhere. I could have got a bigger plate. Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now, I'm just going to clean out my pan. And I made a mess because I dropped sausage everywhere. But that's just going to drain there for a few minutes. While I get my pan clean, because I just want all the grease and stuff out of it, basically. Especially if you browned your sausage very much. You know, sometimes people like to really brown it to where it comes out looking kind of brown and crispy. I didn't quite get that to that point, but I'm going to spray a little bit of olive oil in my pan. I'm going to go ahead and take my remaining 5 eggs. I'm going to break them in a bowl. Beat these eggs up a little bit. I'm going to put myself just a little bit of salt and pepper in there. And you salt your eggs to taste, you know, you don't even have to put anything in them. I just put a little bit. Turn my burner back on. So we're getting ready to scramble our eggs. Now, while that's starting to cook a little bit, I'm going to take my sprayer again. Isn't this a neat little thing to have? I'm just going to spray my muffins pans with a little bit of olive oil because I know it's not going to burn. Butter would be nice, but you know, butter burns. Woo! That pan got hot over there, y'all. Wasn't even thinking about that. I have to hold it with my This little thing is great for squirting olive oil on your salad too. I must not have gotten all the oil, man, the air out of it. Let me open it up and let's get some air in there. Well, it stopped spraying, y'all. I don't know why. Oh well, I'll have to take my fingers, I guess, and put a little bit of oil in the one that stopped spraying that. I don't know why it stopped spraying, but you do need to have some oil. And you can take your fingers anyway and make sure you get all the edges coated because you don't want your muffins to stick. And I'm just going to lay this over here out of the way while I take care of my eggs. Go ahead and turn the burner off and finish mixing this around and chopping it up a little bit, because we don't want big clumps of egg in there either. I mean, a little clump is okay, but we don't want a whole clump of egg in one little muffin, so we want it so we can mix it up and have it evenly distributed throughout the batter. Now our sausage is thoroughly drained. So I'm adding that right into my batter mixture. And I didn't really want to put my eggs in there while they were hot. Let them cool just a tiny bit. And I'm going to add my eggs to my mixture, and they're piping hot. Just hope they don't make the batter rise too fast. Get my muffin pans over here and ready. Now we're going to stick up, mix all of this mixture here we just put in this bowl. This is our batter, our eggs, our sausage. And we're going to fill our individual cups about 2/3 full. And if they come over the top a little bit, that's okay. I mean, but just try to fill them about 2/3 full. If you got bigger muffin pans, you can use the big ones. You just won't have quite as many of their little muffins. Get this other one over here. And I might have to go back through and put a little bit more in each one. These little muffin, this muffin pan with just 6 in it, they're just a tiny bit bigger than the other pan. Not much, but it probably holds about a teaspoon more. Let's see. And we're not going to cook these but about 12 to 15 minutes because, you know, everything that's in there is cooked except the batter. So really it takes longer for the oven to heat up than the batter to cook, really. And I'm probably have a little bit more in each one than 2/3, but that's okay. If they run up all over the sides of the little well, that's okay too. Now we're going to do one other thing. I'm going to put out just a little bit more of this cheese. Probably 1/3 of a cup. And we're just going to sprinkle it on the top of each one. Just a little bit, not much. More. I found it's easier to work with if I just put some out in a dish rather than try to get my hand in there. Need a little bit more. Ooh, this oven's getting hot, making me start to sweat. And I think that'll do it. Go ahead and put these in the oven and let them start cooking. And like I said, we only have to put them in there for about 12 to 15 minutes. You have to keep watching them. You don't want them to burn. Because that cheese will burn pretty quick. Everything is still hot in there, so it's not going to take much for it to cook. And I need to clean up my mess. But these are great for breakfast. Breakfast on the go, as I call it. You just pop them in the microwave, heat them up real quick. I gotta notice the time over here. Okay. When it's about 12:45, they'll be in there for 10 minutes. So I have to keep an eye on that. I can set my timer, but I'm still going to be watching my oven. It's only about 7 minutes from now. Maybe I misjudged it. Let's see. Let me check it again. I think I set the clock at the wrong time. Nine minutes. So they've been in there for about 1 minute already, so. But I can talk with you a little bit about these. Like I said, they are very easy and they freeze very well. The best way to do these muffins to freeze them is let them cool completely. Put them on a baking sheet, cookie sheet, whatever kind of a flat sheet that you could put them on. Place them in your freezer, let them freeze solid. Take them out, then you can put them in a plastic bag, a freezer bag, to store them, and they won't stick together, but you got to freeze them first. And then just take the 1 or 2 out that you need each morning for your breakfast, pop them in a container or a bag and take them to work. Pop them in the microwave, heat them up, and eat them with your cup of coffee. And there you got breakfast on the go. My son does this a lot. He cooks breakfast burritos and a lot of stuff. So I want to pass this recipe on to him because he's usually asking me, what can I fix for breakfast, in advance that I can take to work with me? And I told him muffins one time, but he was thinking about muffins with icing and all that, the sweet muffins. And I said, no, Chad, I'm talking about butternut bread muffins, bran muffins, stuff like that that's not real sweet, that it's intended for a breakfast muffin, that you don't put icing or anything on. I said that would work great to take to work with you, just as something a little different, than eggs and bacon and all that kind of stuff that goes in a breakfast burrito. So I think he'll like this one too. Whew, I remember now why I don't like to get my oven going in the summertime. It's hot in here right now with this oven on, and I don't want to put the exhaust fan on or anything else because the camera picks up all that sound. And I know a lot of my viewers don't like it. But I can't help it, sometimes I have to turn the exhaust fan on. I have to turn the AC on full blast when I'm in here cooking because it just gets too hot. So I don't want to stop the video for just 6 minutes, y'all. But there's other variations of this. You can not only just put sausage in your muffin, but you can fry up crispy bacon, crumble up your bacon in with your sausage and your egg, mixture and make them like that. Sausage and egg bacon muffin, which sounds really good. I wished I'd thought to put bacon in it too, because I would have loved a little bit of bacon crumbled up in my muffin, right along with my sausage and my egg and my cheese. So I think this will go over real good with people that work, have a busy schedule, that like to fix things in advance, so they have, they don't have to stop and spend an hour fixing breakfast every morning. They can just open the freezer door or the refrigerator door and grab a breakfast muffin and go to work, and like I said, drink their coffee and eat their muffin. I know most of the time when I worked, I didn't even eat breakfast. I'd drink a cup of coffee sometimes at work when I got there, or I'd fix a cup, take it with me to work, drink my coffee, and then I didn't eat anything usually till break, which I would get some little snack, or I'd wait till lunch and then just eat lunch that day. I didn't even eat breakfast. But this is a way you don't have to skip your breakfast every morning, because you know what they say, breakfast is your most important meal of the day. It gets you going. So I'm hoping a lot of my viewers will like this recipe. They'll try this recipe and give me a thumbs up for it, because it's hot in here, y'all. I'm sweating. 4 minutes. And another thing these are good for, the batter we mixed up. Some people say it was pancake batter, but not really. But if you have maple syrup, pancake syrup, or honey even, to put some in a little dish and just maybe dip your muffin in it and eat it, that's real good too. Gives it a different taste. But just like they're out of this world. I mean, it's a good breakfast muffin. Let me check on them. Oh, they're rising up real nice, y'all. I think that was just the right amount to put in there. And I don't know if I'll be able to plate them up yet, because they're going to be too hot. And they need to cool off before you try to take them out of the muffin pan. Let them set, let them cool off. And then you can take a knife and kind of go around the edge of the muffin, compartment, and loosen the edge of your muffin, and they should pop right out. That's why I stopped buying liners. I mean, it makes a little bit more work and cleanup, because you do have to wash your pan pretty well. But it's not that big a deal to me to wash my pan. And I didn't want to run to the store to buy liners this morning, so. So there you go. And I don't know what it was, but the last bag of Great Value self-rising flour I bought, that was bad flour. And I've never had that happen before. It did not rise like it should. Even when I made biscuits with it, a pan of biscuits for myself, the biscuits didn't rise properly. I ended up throwing them out, putting them in the compost. So if any of y'all recently got a bag of Great Value flour, self-rising, and it's not rising the way it should, it's not your fault. Something's wrong with the flour. I threw almost the whole bag of mine away and bought a new bag of flour. And I got a different brand this time until they clean the shelves of the Great Value, and then I'll start buying that again. So that's just a warning, If you got the Great Value flour, you bought it recently, you might want to try it, and if it doesn't rise, let Walmart or wherever you bought it know about it. I mean, I got mine at Walmart. That's why it was Great Value. But I should have taken mine back and told them something's wrong with this flour, because I think several other people did. Because there was definitely something wrong with the flour. It was not rising at all. I don't know if it was a batch that they bagged up, that maybe they neglected to put the baking powder and salt in, and it was just plain flour. instead of self-rising. I don't know what the deal is, but I just threw it out because I wasn't going to take a chance that something else was wrong with it. And that's not saying anything about Walmart, because I love Walmart. I shop there all the time. I always buy their food, so. And there goes my alarm. They've been in there maybe 10 minutes. Let me get my... I think I'm going to let the cheese... Can't get hold of it. I'm going to let the cheese brown up just a little bit more. But another minute and my muffins will be done, y'all. And I wish I could eat one of them, but I know it's going to be way too hot. But I'm definitely going to take me a couple out, put them on a plate as soon as I can. And I'm going to fix me a cup of coffee. And I'm eating my breakfast muffins for breakfast this morning, right along with my coffee. But yeah, a lot of you young people that maybe you're not that experienced in baking or cooking, if you did get a bag of that great value flour that would not rise even though it was self-rising, let Walmart know about it. Maybe they'll give you another bag of another brand or something until they find out what the problem is. But I had to trash mine. I said, I'm not using this. Something's definitely wrong with the flour. I don't know if they forgot to put the ingredients in it or what the deal is, but it's not rising. And I knew it was not me. I baked enough to know that it was not me. It had to be the flour. So, oh yeah, they're starting to brown up a little bit now. And they have risen, y'all. They didn't come out flat. Thank God. I had my fingers crossed. I said, don't let my muffins come out flat. Let them rise like they're supposed to. Oh, they're smelling so good. Again, while they're browning, I'm going to go over the ingredients again. You need 1 pound of sausage, mild hot, or whatever you want. 7 eggs, 5 to scramble, and 2 for your batter, which is 7 eggs. 1/3 cup of white sugar, 1/2 cup milk, 1/2 cup cooking oil, 2/3 cup cheese, and then 1/3 more cup of cheese just to sprinkle on top the way you saw me do. You brown your sausage, take it out, let it drain like I did, and then you clean your pan, scramble 5 eggs, let them cool a little. Now, the way I wrote this down is kind of messy. But scramble your eggs. For your batter, 2 cups flour, 1/3 cup sugar, 3 teaspoons, no, that's baking powder. That's if you have plain flour. But like I said, I use self-rising. So I whisked together all my eggs, my milk, my sugar, my oil, my flour. And then you mix your sausage and your scrambled eggs into the batter. Fill your cups, your baking cups, muffin pan, 2/3 full with your batter. bake at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. And it's that easy. And I think I need to take mine out. I don't want them to burn on me. Woo. Come on. Never can get hold of the end of this one. Turn that oven off. But as we all know, your muffin pan holds 12. Half a pan is 6. That's 18 muffins, exactly. And see how they rose? They rose a little. So they're not flat. Don't those look good, y'all? And like I said, when they cool a little bit, just take your knife and make sure that they're loosened around the edge. But if you let them cool completely, they'll separate from the cup itself, you know, the pan itself. And they'll be easier to come out. I don't know if it would tear one of them up to try to take it out as hot as they are or not. But just like that is the way I do it. I just go around the edge, kind of scrubbing the edge of the pan, and then I lift with the knife. Yeah, you need to let them cool completely. And it probably would work better if you did use a liner, so that way your muffin doesn't break apart. I just didn't have liners this morning, and like I said, I did not want to run to the store to get them. So, because this one is trying to separate. I mean, not that one, this one. Whereas if you leave it till it cools off some, there's a little bit of moisture that will get under the muffin. Let me see if I can get it out. I don't know. You see, a little bit of it did separate and drop off in the... Just put it back on there. But if you leave it in there and let them cool completely, they'll set and they won't do that. Or you can, like I said, just use a liner in your muffin pan, and then you don't even have to worry about putting oil or anything else in it. But I'm going to see if this part is cool enough that I can taste. We can take a taste of it. There's a little piece that broke off. This is going to be good, y'all. Mmm. I don't want any of that to go to waste. That was good stuff. Because I've had my cornbread muffins separate too before, if I tried to take them out of the pan before they cooled off a little bit. But if you let them cool, like I said, they'll sweat a little bit under the bottom, and that lets them separate from the pan, or the muffin pan, so they don't stick and separate. But I think that right there looks pretty good. I mean, that's a good looking muffin right there. Let me see if I can get some honey. We'll try it with honey. I'm going to put just a little bit of honey in my dish. Yeah, I think for the sake of the new bakers, the people that don't do that much baking, I think to be on the safe side, just put liners in your muffin pan. Just little paper liners is all you need, and they'll not stick that way. But we're going to try this, y'all, with some honey on it. Whew, that muffin, ooh, it's still hot, hot, hot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bite it or not, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it. That's why it's separated. It's too hot to take out of the pan. Like I said, if you let them stay there, let them cool, you can get them out. They're not going to, stick to the pan. Or, to be safe, put liners in. Just get the cheap paper liners. I'm going to put those on my grocery list the next time I go to the store. I will be buying paper liners for the muffin pan. Ooh, that's still too hot. Burns my hand, y'all. But I got to try it with a little bit of honey. Oh, good. That is good, y'all. Woo! That is hot. Now take a bite with the honey on it. Don't that look good and gooey? That is something good, y'all. Breakfast in a muffin, y'all. Try it. I think you'll love this recipe. I'm going to go ahead and get me another one out of that pan. I don't care if it breaks apart or not. I'm going to get it out while it's still hot, and I'm going to sit down and eat me 2 muffins and a cup of coffee. And that's my breakfast, y'all. Love you. See you later. Bye now.